Good morning and welcome to the Attestation Parade for Class 349 of the Associate Degree in Policing Practice. I am Senior Constable Steve Gardner and I will be your Master of Ceremonies for today's parade. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand as your host officer, Chief Superintendent Toby Lindsay, Principal, New South Wales Police Academy, escorts the official guests to the dais. The official guests for today's parade are the Honourable David Elliott MP, Minister for Police and Emergency Services, and Mrs Nicole Elliott. Commissioner Michael Fuller, APM, Commissioner of Police, and Mrs Andrea Fuller. Deputy Commissioner Karen Webb, APM, Corporate Services. Deputy Commissioner Gary Warboys, APM, State Emergency Operations Controller. Deputy Commissioner Mal Lanyon, APM, Metropolitan Field Operations. Deputy Commissioner Michael Willing, APM, Regional Field Operations. Deputy Commissioner David Hudson, APM, Investigations and Counter-Terrorism. Assistant Commissioner Dean Smith, APM, Commander, Education and Training. Associate Professor Ken Probert, Head of School, Policing Studies, Charles Sturt University.
Parade will advance and review order. By the centre. Rec. In works.
Thank you. Please be seated. I'd like to ask Sergeant Rebecca Lewis to conduct the Acknowledgement of Country.
Yama Naginde Gomeroi Wallangula. Good morning. My name is Rebecca Lewis and I'm a proud Gomeroi woman from Moree, New South Wales. Goulburn and the surrounding area was originally a very important meeting place for First Nations peoples. Because of its locality, it was a very central point in bringing everyone together. Sacred sites include Rocky Hill, Marsden Weir, Lansdowne Estate, Kenmore and Goulburn Railway Station. Goulburn has always been a place of bringing people together and this tradition is being carried on today. The New South Wales Police Academy is honoured that the land they occupy are the traditional lands of the Malwari, Tarlo, Burra, Wallandilly, Wiradjuri, Gundagara, Daruk, Tharwal, Lachlan, Pajong, Paramagoo, Cookmall and Ngunnawal people. I respectfully acknowledge First Nations people's heritage and culture and I acknowledge their continuing connection to land, waters and culture. I pay my respects to their elders, past, present and future.
Thank you, Sergeant Lewis. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand as the Parade Sergeant directs the banner ensign to march on the New South Wales Police Force banner. All uniformed personnel utter salute as the banner passes the dais.
Attention! Banner red set. March on the banner.
The New South Wales Police Force banner is held in great esteem as it represents the proud history and traditions of a force which has served the Crown, Government and people of New South Wales since 1862. Thank you. Please be seated. The attestation ceremony will take place on the parade ground before you. The New South Wales Police Academy parade ground is considered hallowed ground to all members of the New South Wales Police Force because it symbolically represents our fallen colleagues. It is regarded as the home of the constable, as it is the place where all New South Wales police officers attest and officially begin their careers in the office of Constable of Police. Ladies and gentlemen, will you please stand as Senior Police Chaplain, the Reverend Murray Woolner, blesses the parade.
As Class 349 prepare to make their attestation and begin their service in the New South Wales Police Force, we ask a blessing on each of them. Let us pray. Almighty God, we thank you today for the students gathered together on this parade ground, drawn from many places and cultures, but now preparing to serve in one united force. Bless them in the days, weeks and years to come. Give them the will and the power to honour the commitments they will make in a few moments' time. Surround them with good colleagues and leaders who will challenge and encourage them as they develop in their careers. May your strength be with all those who love them, their friends and families who've supported them in their time here and who will carry on that care in the future. Bless those who've worked to train them, the principal and staff of this academy and Charles Sturt University. Guide and protect the New South Wales Police Force, its Commissioner and the Minister for Police. And now may the Lord bless us and keep us. May the Lord make his face to shine upon us and be gracious to us. May the Lord look kindly upon us and give us peace. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Padre. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. As the New South Wales Police Force recruits its members from a range of cultural groups, the Police Act provides for persons to attest by either swearing an oath of office or making an affirmation. The parade sergeant will now prepare the students for their attestation.
Boss, remove. Headdress. Remove. Bibles. Down.
I now invite Commissioner Michael Fuller to attest the members of Class 349.
Good morning, Class 349. Substituting your name for mine, repeat after me. I, Michael John Fuller.
I, John Fuller.
Do swear.
Do swear.
Do solemnly, sincerely.
Do solemnly, sincerely.
And truly declare and affirm.
And truly declare and affirm.
That I will well and truly serve.
That I will well and truly serve.
Our Sovereign Lady, the Queen.
Our Sovereign Lady, the Queen.
As a police officer.
As a police officer.
Without favour or affection.
Without favour or affection.
Malice or ill will.
Malice or ill will.
Until I am legally discharged.
Until I am legally discharged.
That I will cause.
That I will cause.
Her Majesty's peace.
Her Majesty's peace.
To be kept and preserved.
To be kept and preserved.
And that I will prevent.
That I will prevent.
To the best of my power.
To the best of my power.
All offences against that peace.
All offences against that peace.
And that while I continue.
And that while I continue.
To be a police officer.
To be a police officer.
I will to the best.
I will to the best.
Of my skill and knowledge.
Of my skill and knowledge.
Discharge all my duties.
Discharge all my duties.
Faithfully according to law.
Faithfully according to law.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Class, release. Bibles. Release. Headdress. Jump.
The parade sergeant will now direct the newly attested probationary constables to remove their student cap bands. This will reveal their badge of office and the checkered cap band. Please withhold your applause until the probationary constables have returned to the attention position.
Cross. Remove. Cap bands. Attention. Right, stand up. Hey. Stand. Easy.
I would like to invite your host officer, Chief Superintendent Toby Lindsay, to address the parade.
Thank you, Senior Constable Gardner. I acknowledge and welcome our official guests for today's parade and thank you all for helping us celebrate with this attesting class. The Honourable David Elliott MP, Minister for Police and Emergency Services, Commissioner Michael Fuller, APM, and Mrs Andrea Fuller, Deputy Commissioner Karen Webb, APM, Corporate Services, Deputy Commissioner Mal Lanyon, APM, Metropolitan Field Operations, Deputy Commissioner Mick Willing, APM, Regional Field Operations, Deputy Commissioner Dave Hudson, APM, Investigations and Counter-Terrorism Command, Deputy Commissioner Gary Warboys, APM, State Emergency Operations Controller, Assistant Commissioner Dean Smith, APM, Education and Training Command, Mrs Wendy Tuckerman, MP, Member for Goulburn, and Associate Professor Ken Probert, Head of School, Charles Sturt University. Good morning everyone and welcome to the attestation of Class 349. As the Commander and Principal of the New South Wales Police Academy, it is my honour and privilege to congratulate this attesting class and acknowledge their extraordinary efforts. Today marks a special day for 226 men and women of this class who commenced their study and training to become New South Wales police officers some 8 months ago. They commenced their training in the midst of the global pandemic. This provided their first significant challenge, one of many challenges they will face during their policing careers. Men and women of Class 349, I would like to thank you all for your sacrifices, individual commitment and teamwork during this unique and challenging time. Your resolve has been tested. However, through your commitment to study and with the support of the dedicated Police Academy and Charles Sturt University teams, you have risen to that challenge. That's what police do. We keep moving forward, we overcome, we adapt, and we get the job done for our communities. You have displayed strength of character, self-discipline, good humour, and dedication on your journey to becoming police officers. You are attesting today as highly trained, capable, and well-equipped police officers. You are ready to start your operational duties. You are ready to confront the real-world challenges and serve our communities. We acknowledge that your loved ones, friends and families cannot be here today. I have every confidence that they are exceptionally proud of your achievement and in this milestone and cannot wait to celebrate with you. Now more than ever, it is vital that we maintain family, friends and community connections. We all rely on each other and we all need to support each other. Your new role as police officers in New South Wales has never been so important. As you progress through your policing careers, never lose sight of either who you serve or why you are serving. You serve the people of New South Wales. You serve not for yourself, but for others and our communities. Keep our communities safe. I wish to acknowledge the outstanding commitment and professionalism from the teaching and support staff of the New South Wales Police Academy and Charles Sturt University under the leadership of Associate Professor Ken Probert. I'm sure you are very grateful for the wonderful job they do day in and day out. Their unwavering commitment, teamwork and initiative has allowed us to continue this quality program. Finally, Class 349, maintain your study and commitment over the next 12 months and in fact your entire career. You have earned your place on this parade ground today and as a member of the New South Wales Police Force family. Be proud of yourselves as we are of you. You'll remember this day for the rest of your lives. On behalf of all the New South Wales Police Academy and Charles Sturt University teams, I wish you every success in your policing career. It's now my privilege to invite the Honourable David Elliott, MP, Minister for Police and Emergency Services, to address the parade. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Chief Superintendent Lindsay, and thank you for having me on your parade ground and part of this ceremony today. To my parliamentary colleague, Member for Goulburn, Wendy Tuckerman, Commissioner Fuller, Mrs Fuller, Executive, and of course the new rank and file members of the New South Wales Police Force. I spent enough time on parades myself to know that a political speech at these ceremonies is probably not going to be the highlight of your day. I'm modest enough to accept that. So I normally keep these remarks to about 5 or 10 minutes, but since it's such a beautiful day, I thought I'd give you the full 1 hour. Did you just roll your eyes, mate? No. Can I congratulate you all on what has been a very, very difficult 16 weeks. Can I say that you have joined the New South Wales Police Force at a time of great anxiety in our community. And I know from my conversations with recruits, newly attested constables and those that want to join the New South Wales Police Force that you are also very, very conscious of the way that you're represented in the community at the moment. For me, I think in the history of the New South Wales Police Force, the vast majority of citizens in this state have never been more grateful for the professional approach that you have taken over the last 2 years. Your organisation has led the way in bushfire, in drought, in storm, in natural disaster and of course pandemic. There's a 2,000-year-old verse that says, "No greater love has that man who will lay down his life for another." By marching off today, you become a person who has that love. You have the love for the community. You have the love for your country. You have the love for your fellow man. And of course, you will have a great deal of affection for each other as you march along this journey together. That means you have a unique role in our society. You have a role which means that you have to use discretion. You have a role that means when on Monday you go to your new commands, you will become a leader in your community. Some of you will go to communities that you've never visited before, or you've certainly never worked in before, and you have immediately attained status in that community. People will look up to you, people will rely on you, and people will ask you to use the authority that you've been given on this parade ground today to make their community safer and a better place. For that, we are very, very grateful. But as the Chief Superintendent has said, you must also continue your professional development. Your role as a member of the New South Wales Police Force doesn't just finish when you graduate today. For many of you, you will see further leadership opportunities arise. You will go through the ranks. And I often sit in my position here and look at these parades and wonder who here will be the next Assistant Commissioner, a future Deputy Commissioner, or indeed a Commissioner of Police, a position that in Western liberal democracies is a very, very important position because the entire authority of law and order rests in that role. And that is why we need to prepare you, as many as possible, to take those leadership roles. Can I ask you to go home tonight, go back to your families and thank your parents and your siblings and your loved ones for supporting you through this 16 weeks. It is a very, very special person that encourages and supports a child to join the New South Wales Police Force because of the risks and the responsibilities that come with it. But in my mind, you wouldn't have got through these 16 weeks without the ability to take on that role. And what I would do is thank the New South Wales Police, particularly Chief Superintendent Lindsay, for leading you in a very, very difficult time starting during this pandemic. It's probably going to be great training for you. The challenges that you've set yourselves over the last 16 weeks will also you will be able to draw upon them as you face the challenges of your career. Can I congratulate each of you again? I wish you luck. Hopefully I'll see you over the course of your implementation into your new commands. Continue to go well. Good policing.
Thank you, sir. I would now like to invite Commissioner Michael Fuller to address the parade.
To our special guest, particularly the Minister for Police and Emergency Services, David Elliott, thanks for being here today and your ongoing support for New South Wales Police. And, example of that is after the parade, we've got a sod turning for a new police station at Goulburn, and that sort of ongoing commitment to public safety is not forgotten. The local member, Wendy Tuckerman, it's great to see you back today. Of course, our friends from Charles Sturt University, my deputies and all the colleagues, but particularly Class 3, 4, 9, welcome. Can I also acknowledge the traditional owners of the land that we meet on today? Class 3, 4, 9, I had a pleasure of talking to you all yesterday, and the feedback that I got from Commander Lindsay about the group was nothing but praise. And the fact that you've been in lockdown for 16 weeks is a real testament to you, because that is a huge challenge. We've seen lots of classes come through over the last 20 months who have faced the COVID challenges, but none have been in lockdown for 16 weeks. And for you to get through that individually as leaders and then as a group through your teamwork, you should be proud of that. And the deputies and I would ask that you take that same passion into policing. Because as the Minister said, come Monday, you'll be on the truck working, plus your studies, plus those issues back at home that you haven't had to deal with in 16 weeks will be there for you. So in that, we would ask that you continue to look after each other the way you have in the last 16 weeks. The friendships that you have built, camaraderie, the way you've supported each other, whether that's through training or through the academic side, you need to continue to drive that, particularly over the next 12 months until you finish your studies. You will be a welcome relief out in the field because it has certainly been a busy 20 months. And before that 20 months, we had floods, and before that, we had bushfires. So there are troops out there that have been working tirelessly, not just in terms of protecting the community of New South Wales from crime, but from all the emergencies and the natural disasters that you have probably been watching yourself over the last couple of years. So you will be welcomed into your commands. You will be the fresh recruits. But I think what is important is that we have been able to, through the leadership of the Academy particularly, to train over 1,250 new police in the last 20 months, which I think is an amazing result, and everyone from Charles Sturt and the Golden Police Academy should be proud of that. You will continue to be supported as you go into the field, and I would ask that you embrace that support. We know that policing is a particularly challenging job. We know that you've started to build resilience over the last 16 weeks. You need to continue to build resilience to the challenges that you will face, because unfortunately I can protect you from a lot of things, but I can't protect you from the darker side of human behaviour. There are lots of services in place to protect you, and I would ask that if you need help that you put your hand up, and help is what you will get. Some of you will have family members at home, loved ones. I would ask that you continue to keep them close. There will come a time when you will need to talk about the difficult day that you had. Family and friends will always be such an important part of that. But you are coming into a big family in the police family. We want to look after you like you are family, but I can only help you if you put your hand up for help. Be proud today. The deputies and I all stood where you stood. We remember how that felt. Mr. Hudson's 40 years today, and to think that we were all probationary constables, to think that what you can go on, achieve and become the Commissioner of Police, as the Minister said, that shouldn't be lost on you. But that journey, the journey that you will go on, will be a partnership obviously between the police force and yourself. But if you commit to the family like the family commits to you, then you can go on and achieve great things. But from us, the sworn police, we welcome you into the police family. We ask that you embrace and love the job as much as we do. But most importantly, we wish you well in your operational deployments, and much like the Minister, I look forward to seeing you out in the field. Please take care.
Thank you, sir. We would like to acknowledge the probationary constables on parade who have achieved levels of excellence during the course of their studies here at the Academy. The recipient of the Robert Brotherson Award for Outstanding Academic Performance is Probationary Constable Hayden Smith. The recipients of the Stephen Rosa Memorial Award for Outstanding Performance in the Physical Training Program are Probationary Constables Hayden Ashcroft and Kiara Briggs. The recipients of the Juan Carlos Hernandez Memorial Shield for the highest proficiency in firearms training are Probationary Constables Melissa Bartlett and Stephen Darby. The recipient of the Police Practical Award is Probationary Constable Alexander Mitchell. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, would you please stand for the Australian National Anthem. The anthem will be sung by New South Wales Police Force vocalist Belinda Parsons. All uniformed personnel will salute on the command, present arms.
Right, attention! Parade salute to the front, present. Ups.
The host officer will now direct the parade sergeant to march off the banner and dismiss Class 349 for the final time. Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing as the banner is marched off. All uniformed personnel will salute during the march off.
Edson.
Done.
March off the banner.
Done.
Parade. Salute to the front. Salute.
Then a party by the centre. Quick march.
Parade attention.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Please be seated. The parade sergeant will now dismiss the class. Congratulations, Class 349. We welcome you all to the New South Wales Police Force. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you and good morning.
Horse. Replace masks. Officer on parade. Dismiss.